Well, here we are, our final practice. And I am always kind of amazed just by practicing kind of in an intensive way or really an immersive way for a few days really does act as this amazing reset, right? It kind of gets us out of the rhythm that we've been in of doom scrolling or just reading the New York Times or whatever you read incessantly, or I don't know, it's just nice to interrupt those patterns a little bit. And that's really what we've been doing with these practices too, right? Really moving in different ways that teach us new things and new ways to pay attention to our bodies. So today is called Opening to Grace. And this is really at the heart, no pun intended, but I'll take it anyway, of the practice that we're doing. So allowing ourselves and committing to embracing the world just as it is. And I know that that seems maybe counter to the maybe small part of activist in us or big part of activist in us that sees things that we want to change about the world. And those are good parts as well. And please do the things that you feel are right and good and helpful in the world. But there's also an element of resting within every day just as it unfolds, right? And allowing ourselves to have the grace to do that and just not struggling so much. There's a line in this wonderful book, actually, that Carly gave me. It's Pema Chodron's book, and what's it called? Living in Uncertainty and Change, or something like that. It's a beautiful book. And Pema Chodron says something along the lines, I'm going to paraphrase, of we have to find a way to make friends with uncertainty. And she calls it groundlessness, but we have to find a way to make friends with groundlessness. Otherwise, we'll continue to struggle, right? Because this is an inherent part of human life, is not knowing what's going to happen, of not having control over the outcome of everything, or things just not going our way. I mean, if everything went everybody's way, can you imagine, like, it would be impossible. That we all have so many different views and opinions shaped by so many different conditions in our lives. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing to think about, right? Making friends with uncertainty, resting in uncertainty. So today we're practicing, we've obviously worked pretty heartily through the legs and the hips, kind of worked through some of the muckiness of the pelvis and the lower back, where things just get a little bound up. And yesterday, then we worked through the center of the body, the torso, that which connects really the ground to the lightness of the heart and the lightness of the shoulders. And so today we'll explore movements to open up through the shoulders, through the heart. And I think by doing this, hopefully you will feel that lightness that is inherent to this area of the body. And you will know that you can both feel that, right? You can both live in the knowledge that that is in you, as well as all of the shifting tides that are around us that we have very little control of. So the heart is a wonderful thing. Obviously, we would not be able to live without it physically. And the heart in Sanskrit used to be, or is known as the Hridaya, and it's sort of the earliest word for heart. And it's actually the root word of the heart, the Hridaya, Hrdaya. And the Hrid means to release, right? And Da means to give. And then that last Ya is to regulate. So we give and we receive and we regulate. And this is the job of the heart, both in the body and in a spiritual, philosophical sense, right? The heart is, in the Bhagavad Gita, for instance, the heart is the battleground on which we learn to encounter all of the uncertainty and all of the things that we cannot control, war, which is the whole basis of the Bhagavad Gita, and where we learn to tap into our kindness and tap into our compassion, tap into our dharma or our purpose in life. So we can really take comfort in the fact that the heart that aches is a heart that loves and a heart that feels, right? So if your heart is able to break, then it is also able to heal, and it is also able to love. I think there's a Rumi, if I'm remembering correctly, it's Rumi. Leonard Cohen, actually, same, similar, right? But the cracks that happen are where the light shines through, some line like that. So we just allow our heart to break, we allow it to crack open, and sometimes we encourage it a little bit because we know that it can heal. And everybody here, I'm certain at this point in your life, has felt your heart break in some way. And here you are, you're still okay, and you have healed. And we continue to do this work, right? Just every day, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. So with that, I'd like to just share a Thich Nhat Hanh quote, poem, paragraph that I think you'll find enjoyable, at least I do. This is from his book, The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching. Be like the earth. When the rain comes, the earth has only to open herself up to the rain. Allow the rain of teachings to come in and penetrate the seeds that are buried deep in your heart. A teacher cannot give you the truth. The truth is already in you. You only need to open yourself, body, mind, and heart, so that the teachings will penetrate your own seeds of understanding and enlightenment. If you let the words enter you, the soil and the seeds will do the rest of the work. So with that, before we sit for a moment, let's take our strap and just prepare it. I like to do these things. It just makes it a little less fussy later. So go through both of the loops on the strap and come back through one. And you just want it to be about shoulder width, right? So you can adjust that a little bit later, but at least that's done now. Just set it off to the side. Okay. And then comfortable seats, allowing your eyes to close so we can just let ourselves drop for a minute before we come to our backs. And we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and exhale. Take another deep breath in. And open your mouth to release. And gently allowing the lips to close. Breathing through your nose if that's possible for you today. And here, seated upright, it's a little easier to feel the breath, a little easier to feel the lungs. So gently let your awareness rest on that feeling of breathing, the sensation of in-breath and the sensation of out-breath. Unregulated, unrestricted. And in response to this, feel the body drop, feel the shoulders drop. Allow the jaw to release. Your lips may even lightly part. And as you allow your breath to become more and more natural, more and more native, can you notice that it's not you directing the breath? Right? The body breathes. The body draws air into the lungs. And the body lets go quite naturally and all on its own. And just as the lungs breathe, and in tandem and coordination, the heart beats. And it moves forward step by step. Beat by beat. And there is comfort in this. In this knowledge that the heart and the lungs continue on. As you're ready, gently join your palms and bow your chin. Take one or two deeper breaths into the center of the hands. And then if you'd like, join for the sound of Om. Take a deep breath in. We'll release our arms and allow the eyes to open. And then as we have done, go ahead and spread your blanket out. Right. And just keep your stuff handy. So blocks, couple of blankets, and that strap that we've already prepared. Okay. And everybody will meet on their backs. So beginning as we do in Shavasana, and allowing the bones to settle down, allowing the body to give way to gravity. And maybe here feeling the arms and the shoulders become especially heavy. Allowing the back of the head to really release down into the floor. Noticing the fatigue level of the body today, the energy level of the body. And acknowledging maybe any differences between right and left. Any restriction through the breath, the belly, the chest. Just one or two or three more breaths, allowing yourself to drop completely. Letting go through the heels, the legs, letting go through the hips and the shoulders. And then feeling free to, of course, keep your eyes closed. Gently just bring your arms a little closer in by your sides. Doesn't have to be super close, but a little closer in. Okay. And really slowly reach your right arm away, just sliding the back of the hand on the ground. You can let your head loll to the right as you do that. And then gently letting go and returning. And reaching the left arm away, sliding the back of the hand on the ground. Maybe letting the head loll to the left as you do that. And letting go. Just moving side to side like this, right? It's so, so simple. Just reaching one arm away at a time, letting the head drop in the same direction as the arm that's reaching. And you might experiment with breathing into this movement or exhaling into the movement. Just really letting your breath do whatever is very natural to it. Feeling the depression of each shoulder blade. Right? Maybe starting to exaggerate the depression of the shoulder that's reaching and the elevation of the opposite shoulder. Notice how this almost starts to feel like a little bit of a side bend or a lateral extension. And next time you reach your right arm, go ahead and turn your head the opposite way. So turning head to the left, feeling that thick and ropey-like structure, the guy wires of the neck, and then gently releasing. And reaching the left arm away, letting the head just loll to the right. And gently releasing. And I'd recommend breathing into this movement. So we're really habituated to exhale into twists, but for right now, breathe into it. Right? Find more space. Good. And just gently, gently coming back to center after you've evened out sides, after you've ended on your left side again. Pausing for a moment, let the shoulders relax, let the arms splay out to the sides again as they will. Just feel any clicks or pops, any tingling or even warmth that might be moving through the sides of the neck or the upper trapezius now. And we'll go ahead, try to bring the legs to more parallel. So heels are more in line with the hips, toes are pointed a little more up towards the ceiling. Bring your arms back in by your sides. And then just walking with this, right? So as the right leg reaches away, reach down through that right arm. So now we're just introducing more of the body and come back to center. And reaching left leg and left arm. You'll feel the right side of the body shrink a little and releasing. Pressing right foot, right hand away, slipping down on that right side. And head can roll either direction. Really do what feels most appropriate for you. Again, this movement almost mimicking walking. Just walking on the back, really simple. And next time you come through the center and you're nice and even on both sides, go ahead, let yourself drop. Let the arms relax, let the legs relax, feet turn out. Feeling the tissue of the body begin to reflush, right? The fresh fluid, fresh blood. Okay, and then we'll bend our elbows, bring hands behind the head, bend your knees. This should be pretty familiar to you by now. Bend your knees, feet to the floor. Okay. So on the in-breath, lifting navel towards the ceiling, letting the back of the neck get really long, chin towards the chest, and then exhaling as the navel moves into the spine. And inhaling, lifting the navel towards the ceiling. The back of the neck lengthens, pressing into those elbows into the ground, and then exhale. This time as the navel moves towards the ground, round up, drawing the elbows together and let the head be really heavy. Oh, on your in-breath, allowing yourself to move down. And again, following both the breath and the body. So just undulating, slithering. Allowing yourself to move on that ride of the breath, the wave of the breath. So even you might notice there stops being quite the distinction between breath and body. And so a few more here. And just allowing these spinal undulations to be really smooth and slow. Beginning to feel like a more familiar friend now. And then coming down, leave the back of the head on the ground. Go ahead and bring your arms into goalpost arms, or nice wide cactus arms. Nice, so elbows bent. And we'll inhale here, again, lifting the navel towards the ceiling. So bringing the spine, the lower spine into a big arch. And then as you exhale, navel towards the ground, go ahead and turn, rotating the arms so that the palms of the hands press into the ground. So internal rotation of the arms. And we'll inhale into that arch, back of the hands pressed to the ground. And exhale as the navel moves towards the spine, posterior tilt as you press palms towards the ground. Right? So the hands, the arms, just moving like little levers, almost like Barbie arms. Just feeling that rotation. So if your hands don't touch the ground, that's totally fine. And if your elbows are a little closer to your waist than a perfect 90 degrees, that's fine. We're just starting to feel what this is like as we explore the range of the shoulder, the range of the upper back, and the scapula. And then next time you naturally end up in those goalpost arms, go ahead and pause there. Let the spine relax and release just into neutral, and then just isolating the shoulder now. Go ahead and start to reach that right arm, sliding it on the ground. Reach that right hand towards the wall behind you. And then as you exhale, rebend the elbow, right? Sliding the hand back. And inhaling, reaching the left arm. Back of the hand touching the ground or close to the ground the whole time. And exhaling as you return. And again, right arm reaches. Noticing anything that feels a little sticky or stuck. It is just a part of our makeup that we carry mental tension, mental disease, dukkha, disease in the shoulders. Just moving slowly side to side. And allowing yourself to relax, right? So you don't need to try too hard. You don't need to go to your full range. Just gently lengthening these tissues, encouraging them, milking them, squeezing them so that they release. All right. So again, we're just interlacing hands behind the head when you're ready, right? So as you pull that left elbow towards the left hip, shrink the left side of the body, pull left heel towards left hip. So in essence, we're also pulling right heel towards the wall in front, right elbow towards the wall behind. And breathe into the right side waist. And then exhale to come back. And we just switch. Right elbow sliding down, right heel sliding up, and the left side of the body getting really long. Breathing into the left side waist. And exhaling to return. And just one or two more, three more each side. Taking your time, maybe pausing, lingering, breathing in to any place that feels really good and juicy. And then gently coming back. So this squeezing, this compression, and then opening, right? Really mimics the movement of the heart, that squeeze and pulse, the squeeze and release. And so with each compression, then as we release, we introduce new oxygen, new blood. All right, and as you're ready from there, go ahead and release your arms. Just down by your sides, giving the shoulders a little break. Let the legs turn out. And pausing for 10 or 20 seconds. And now starting to get maybe a few more tingles. few more vibrations. All right, let's go ahead. Interlace the hands behind the head again. And so elbows wide. Bend both knees, or just bend one knee, sorry. Lengthen your left leg. Bend just your right knee. How about that? We'll keep it simple. And then we'll drop the right knee across the body and do that same movement of drawing right elbow towards the right hip. So shrinking right side of the waist, encouraging lumbar curve to restore. And then exhaling back. Okay, so pause here, no rush to move back into that side yet. Okay, so again, as you're ready to swing the right knee over to the left, draw right elbow towards the right hip. Breathe in as you press into your right foot, opening up belly. And then when you feel ready, exhale and come all the way back. And just taking a couple of breaths in between. And again, we drop the knee to the left. Reach right elbow towards that right hip. Big side bend as you reach left elbow away, left foot away. And exhaling to come all the way back. We can just switch legs, lengthening the right leg, bending the left knee, left foot to the floor. And swinging that left knee across to the right, left elbow towards the left hip. Nice big in-breath here. And then gently returning back. And pausing on your back. Letting yourself be more or less neutral. And swinging the knee across. Reaching through that right side body, right elbow reaching, right foot reaching. Breathing into the right lung, right waist. And gently returning back. And one or two more times. Take the knee across the body, just letting yourself, if you're a little stickier on this side, letting yourself pause and do this again. And then gently returning. So when you feel ready, lengthening out the left leg, releasing arms by your sides, pausing in Shavasana. Just feeling any yawns. And feel any changes to the breath. All right, go ahead and interlace your hands just above the belly. Go ahead and flip the palms. Turn the toes towards the ceiling, reach your arms alongside your ears. And we'll press the hands away, press the heels away. And feel that hollowness of the belly. Nice long, big stretch, getting as long as you can and also as wide. So let the breath move out to the side ribs. Right, as though you still have that strap from yesterday around the ribs. And we'll exhale. Just leave your arms alongside your ears. I'm going ahead, turning onto the right side. Just using that right arm as a pillow. Okay. Go ahead and stack your legs so the legs are nice and straight for a side lying Tadasana or Samastitihi. And hold on to that left wrist with your right hand. And we'll reach the left wrist away, reach the left heel away. Right, and if it's hard to balance that way, bend your right knee a little bit. Give yourself a little easy there. It's just getting really long. And then gently release. We're just staying on your side, but we're just stretching the side body. Again, we'll reach left wrist, left heel away, left ankle away. Get really, really long. Nice. And gently releasing. Okay. And bring your left hand to the floor in front of you. Okay. And again, just like we did yesterday, for those of you who were here yesterday, go ahead and take your left foot behind you on the mat, on your blanket, and we'll reach the left arm away. Right, so stretching left arm away, the chest will turn down. And then as you draw the left hand back, go ahead and bring left knee towards the left elbow. Again, we'll stretch left leg away, stretch the left arm away, moving in opposition. I like to think of this as a little scorpion's tail, but it's my own scorpion obsession. And again, sliding palm, sliding hand, reaching back through left leg. And if you clamp the foot, pause for a moment. Breathe into that left side. And exhale as you come all the way back. Okay, so again, right knee can be a little bit bent if that's better for you, or totally straight. Reach back with the hand. You also have a strap handy if you'd like to, but hold on to the ankle. And then send the left knee back. Just a side lying Virasana. And instead of worrying about how far you move the knee back, imagine the space between the left shoulder and the left knee getting longer. So if you're really lifting that left knee into the air, let it drop, let it drop. And then as you exhale, gently release. And come all the way onto your back. Okay. And we just roll to the other side. So left arm reaches long. Use that arm as a pillow. And with that arm as a pillow, now we reach right arm up. Left knee can be bent or straight, both are fine. And we'll stretch the right wrist away as you stretch the right heel away. Taking a big in-breath there, getting longer, longer, longer. And then exhaling to soften and release. And so again, as you're ready, reach the right heel, reach the right wrist. And feeling that entire side of the body, the whole right line of the body. And then gently release. And we'll bring the right hand in front. Go ahead and bend your right knee, slide the foot behind. And we'll slide that right arm forward and let the chest wrap down towards the floor. And then exhale as you come back to center, drawing that right knee towards the chest. Again, reaching back. You could do any of these things, right? You do any of these things for longer. But such is the nature of class. And we'll ride the wave of the breath here for a few moments. Just continuing, reaching the right leg back, reaching right arm away. And then gently coming back. And then last time, go ahead, reach right arm, reach right foot. And then if you can connect the sole of your foot to the ground, press it into the ground, reach the right arm away and pause. Take a big in-breath or 2 or 3. And as you're ready, gently release. And we'll come all the way onto our bellies. So stacking hands underneath the forehead as we've been doing, elbows nice and wide. Legs release. And taking a couple of breaths into the low back, into the back of the ribs. And then even feel your breath move into the belly, move into the chest. Oh, nice. All right. And we'll go ahead, tuck the toes under. So just as we've been doing, tuck the toes, reach back through the heels. Lift the knees away from the floor. Good. Press those hip bones, or the ASIS, into the ground. And then we'll slowly start to pull and slither the belly forward, slither the heart forward. And can you feel the wrapping of the shoulder blades into the back? Can you feel the length of the back of the neck as you move your head from being down, just sliding back, almost like you're trying to give yourself a double chin. And exhale, go ahead and release, keeping the toes tucked under. We'll take our whole shoulder arm unit over to the left. A nice lateral move. Okay. Lengthening the right side body. And from here, reach back through that right heel especially. And then if you'd like, start to gently peel just a little bit up away from the floor. So we're breathing, using the arms to support. Breathing into that right iliopsoas, the right lung. And taking a moment and exhaling, gently releasing down. And just go ahead and stay in this lateral position. You're going to leave your left arm as it is. Reach the right arm away. Okay? So right arm stays on the same trajectory, it's just kind of reaching forward, so you're in a banana shape. And then again, reach back through the right heel, gently peel up. And now with the slightly longer line, press down and try to reach the chest forwards. Don't worry about the up, just forward. And again, if that's too much on the neck, it just doesn't feel right, stay low. One more deep breath into the right side body, right waist, right lung. And as you exhale, bend that elbow, release the knees, come all the way back to center. Just go ahead and relax the feet. Untuck the toes. Take a moment here. And notice if you feel any significant shift right to left. Does the right side feel a little longer? Does it feel a little more alive? And again, we'll tuck the toes under. Lift up the knees. So yes, your quadriceps need to work a little. Reach back through the heels, and then we'll take our whole shoulder unit over to the right. Well, similar to what we did on our backs, but now we're just on our bellies. Okay. And as you're here, reach back through the left heel. Breathe into that left belly, left waist, left lung. And if you'd like to, then very gently lift up. And we're just slow and slow. Downshifting everything. And gently releasing, keeping the toes tucked under for one more. And we'll start to lengthen the left arm if that feels good to you. Okay, so left arm is reaching over to the right. Reach back through the left heel. And again, we'll lift just a little bit if that feels good. I'm just encouraging more space. Notice if you're trying too hard. Notice if you're trying to get too far. Step by step. And then gently exhale all the way back to center. Keep the toes tucked under. And we'll inhale, knees lift. Hip points press down. Go ahead and reach the heart forward. And use that new length that you've created through the side waist to find more length through the heart. Heels to heart. Shoulder blades wrapping in and forward. The eyes of the heart, the collarbone, space underneath the collarbones. Nice and broad. And then we'll exhale. Release all the way down. Untuck the toes, pause for a moment. And there's such a benefit to this work. If you have any low back dysfunction, generally sitting tends to flatten the lumbar curve. So this work is also restoring that. Go ahead and bend your knees. So knees are about hip distance or so. And just continue this. So again, wrapping up, trying to pull the heart forward. Just this version of Dhanurasana. Really feeling the belly lengthen. And instead of looking forward so much, look a little bit down, look at the hands, and try to move your face away from the hands. Can you feel that as well? Right? Those deep extensors of the neck. That's quite enough. We'll go ahead and release all the way down. Taking a moment, taking a breath. Go ahead and scoot your knees a little bit wider than hip distance, and you'll find the natural place for you that feels good. And then let the feet touch together. So bending knees, bring the feet together in the air. Really simply just sliding the sole of one foot along the inner calf of the other leg. And let your forehead relax down on your hands. Just gently brushing the skin. It's so nice. Anytime you brush the skin, it does encourage lymphatic return. And just more movement of the fluids. When you feel ready and satisfied there, go ahead and relax your legs. And we'll slide our hands out, make our way to hands and knees, and settle the hips back again, knees together. Settling the hips back for child's pose, nice casual child's pose. Wherever you'd like to be in that, maybe forehead on top of the hands, maybe arms reaching. Taking a few deep breaths into that space between the ribs and the back of the hips. That kidney band, so to speak. And then gently, gently coming all the way up. Just as we've been doing. Once again, we'll take our blanket and take a moment folding up your blanket nicely, just because we will be using it later for sure. Folding it up. And just placing it off to the side. From here, go ahead, bring your hands down, tuck your toes, lift the hips up and back, make your way into downward facing dog. We'll bend the knees again. Allow your breath to fan out through the lungs, almost as though we still have that strap on from yesterday. Right, the strap around the rib cage. And if you don't remember that, imagine that you have a strap around your rib cage. Letting the neck release, letting the head hang nice and heavy. And really rooting down through the index finger pad, the thumb pad. And as you're ready to, go ahead and lengthen your legs. Rooting the thighs up and back, reaching the heels down and back. And we'll step the right foot forward between the hands. Bring the left knee to the floor. And then go ahead and come up into a low lunge, right? So supported with the right leg. Bring your thumbs right into the front of your armpits and then lift up, okay? So as you lift up here, feel the length from the knee to the heart. This isn't a huge back bend, right? So we're not cranking back on it. We're focused more on lifting up through the heart. So as you root down through the top of the left foot, root down through the knee, feel length all through this left side of the body. And we'll take another breath just like this. And then exhale, gently release the hands down. Step all the way back to downward facing dog. And nice big in-breath here. Exhaling to release fully. And stepping left foot forward between the hands. Bring right knee to the ground. Okay, untuck the back toes and lift up into a low lunge. And again, we'll hook the thumbs right into the front of the armpit. Right, so you're really capturing the skin here. And lift up. So we're creating this sort of sense memory of what it is like to pull the entire shoulder girdle up. Rotate it back. Feel the wheel of the shoulders starting to turn in this direction. Shoulder blades in the back. And then notice my head's not dropped back, right? I'm just moving the whole face back. So we're down through the top of the right foot. And instead of sinking into it, can you get longer? Can you get taller? Supported by the ground, supported by the rebound of the earth up through the legs. And then as you exhale, release your hands down. Tuck the toes, step back to downward facing dog. And we're in no rush. Go ahead and bend the knees. Lengthen the arms, try to get even more space between the shoulders and the sides of the hips. And maintaining that space, send the thighs up and back, heels down and back. On your in-breath, we'll come forward to a plank pose. Nice, pausing in plank. And exhale, one way or another, knees up or down, lower to the floor. So that work we did yesterday, again, bring your hands underneath your forehead. And then do your best to just lift the low belly away from the floor. Right, so can low belly lift up? As low belly lifts, we feel the legs ground a little more. And we'll gently release that lift. Go ahead and slide your hands back. So hands just in line with the ribs. Fingers spread. And again, feel the belly lift. And then we'll start to pull the hands back, reach the heart forward, come into a pretty mild, moderate cobra pose. Right? And this will feel like work. It will feel like this is not an easy pose. It requires so much strength. So keep the heart reaching forward. Keep the wheel of the shoulder girdle rotating. And then exhale as you release down. Nice, one way or another to hands and knees. We're tucking the toes and coming to plank. Make your way into downward facing dog. And here in down dog, again, we'll bend the knees. Try to reach the heart down towards the ground. Right? That doesn't mean that you have to dump into your shoulders or pull into the shoulders. In fact, press into your hands even more and try to reach heart towards the ground, stay nice and broad. And we send the legs up and back. And then one way or another, feet walk, step, or hop to hands, making your way to a forward fold. Knees bent, neck released, head heavy. And rooting through the feet, bring hands to your hips. And send the thighs back. And inhale as you come all the way up to stand. Nice, releasing your arms. And on your in-breath, we'll reach the arms out and up. Lift the chest. Maybe look up today, heart lifts. Exhale as you take the arms wide and forward fold. Bring fingertips to the shins. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. And then exhale, step your left foot back. Keep the left knee high. And inhale as you come up to a high lunge. Okay, so pausing in a high lunge, feel the resiliency, the buoyancy in the legs as your feet press down. Hey, bring your arms down by your sides. We'll take that left arm back, so turn the palm, so it's internal rotation of the arm. Reach back and find that right bicep. Then you can bend your right elbow, turning the palm up. Okay, since this is problematic, no problem. You can just reach the arms back. That's great too. Okay, so taking another breath here. So now with the arms in this position, can you lift the chest? Can you keep the left thigh lifting? Good, so nice. Take one more breath. And exhale, release the hands down. Let's step back, downward facing dog. So as you inhale, come forward to a plank pose. Then knees up or down, lower to the floor. Okay, so just keep your hands where they are. Untuck your toes for a moment. Try to lift low belly away from the floor. Lift the heads of the shoulders away from the floor. Okay, and then we inhale and come into a cobra. Maybe move towards an adolescent cobra. Maybe we start to lengthen the arms and make our way into an upward facing dog. Right, thighs lifting, shoulder wheel starting to rotate, heart lifted. And exhale, downward facing dog as you're ready. Step the left foot forward. Starting to feel the heat a little bit now, right? Reach the arms up. An element of fire in the body. Bring your arms by your sides. And again, we'll take the right arm, internally rotate it, reach back, find the bicep, and then bend your left elbow. Okay, so in this position, the arms roll up and back. We're still feeling the low belly supported and drawing in. Still feeling the support of the earth beneath us. And then just pausing and taking a breath. And one more. And exhale as you release your arms. Step forward to Uttanasana. And then head drop. Bring fingertips to shins as you lengthen the spine, almost like warrior three. Exhale as you fold. Inhale to rise all the way up. Lift the chest, look up. Exhale, bring hands to your heart. And as you inhale, again, reach the arms, lift the chest, look up. Exhale to fold. This time we'll bend the knees. You might step your big toes to touch. Sit the hips low, and remember that low belly lifts as we reach the arms. Or bring the arms to cactus, or reach the arms back. However, you need to work with your shoulders today. Right. Nice, another big breath. So feeling space and width in the low back here. As you exhale, fold. Go ahead, step right foot back. Inhale up into a high lunge. Nice, and from this lunge, bring hands to your heart. Draw your right elbow on top of, inside, or outside of the left knee. Okay, so it's going to be totally moderated. Excellent. So as you press the palms, go ahead, reach the heart forward even more, as though your shoulder blades, with this little traction of the hands, your shoulder blades could reach down the back a little more. Good, and then can you lift away, so lift the belly away from the floor. So instead of sinking down, right, we're lifting up. It's hard to hold poses, take another breath. And exhale, release the hands down. Good, so nice, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank pose. Knees up or down, lower to the floor. Good, keep your toes tucked under, lift the navel up. Okay, and then for some people it feels really good to do this with toes tucked under. For others, untuck your toes. Right, we start to lengthen into a cobra pose. Start to lengthen into an upward facing dog with the toes tucked under. This is too much on the low back for any reason, untuck toes, come lower down. And one more breath here. And exhale, downward facing dog. And noticing still, so even though these are more familiar patterns of movement, can we use our awareness to notice all of those little things, just like we did when we were on the ground out of gravity. Tingling, vibration, flushing,
changes in breath. And then we step the right foot forward between the hands. Keep the left knee high. Inhale as you come up to a high lunge. And then bring palms to the heart. Left elbow inside, on top of, outside of the right knee. Turning and opening, twisting. And again, same thing, if you are pregnant today, take the opposite, right? So we'd start to open up towards the inside, or just decrease the intensity of it. If you're on your period. And so we're turning. As the left thigh lifts up, right? Just reach the heart forward, and then try to make your breath move outward even more. So we're just encouraging breath to fill more fully. Nice. Try to lift a little out of the pose so you're not sinking in. And we'll exhale, bring the hands down. Step forward to a forward fold. And step the big toes to touch. Bend the knees, sit the hips low. Inhale as you come back to a Utkatasana. And then hands to the heart. Right elbow outside of the left knee. Turning, twisting, or elbow inside of knees. That's great too. And maybe starting to open the arms. If you'd like to open the arms, play with that. So as the fingertips shoot away from each other, or even if you're still in palms together, feel the collarbones broaden. And then exhale, fold all the way down. Just letting the belly, letting the gut, the lungs, everything flush with fresh. And we bend the knees, sit the hips low, inhale to Utkatasana. Bring the palms to heart center, and then left elbow inside or outside that right knee, turning and twisting. As one alignment note, if your left knee is coming forward a little bit, in my world, that's okay. And then reach your arms if you want to reach your arms. Right? Doing what is comfortable for the sacrum is also a good idea. There's good arguments for both. Okay, so as the heart reaches, try to broaden now. Broaden through the arms, broaden through collarbones, broaden through the back. And then exhale, fold forward. And so nice. And then we'll root through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Release the arms. Samastitihi. Grab your strap. Take a nice wide stance on your mat. And we'll place the strap on like a backpack. And just let it come right above the elbows. Okay, and then place your hands on your back. So this should feel that same sort of movement of having thumbs in the armpits. So nice wide stance, wide stance. Good, once you get there. And roll the shoulders up and back with the heart. Let the low belly continue to support. Okay, inhale here. And then exhale, fold down. So feeling from the ground up, the inner body rising up. So big toe to inner thigh lifting. Outer hips through outer ankles dropping. While you're here, can you gently try to hug the elbows towards the ceiling a little bit more so they're not just hanging? Feel the shoulder blades on the back, let the neck release. Let's do nice restorative work for the shoulder girdle. We'll root through the feet. Inhale to come all the way up. Nice. Adjust a little bit. Hands on the back, elbows draw down. Lift up through the heart. And one more time, we'll exhale and fold forward. Not staying quite as long this time, but just letting there be a second little taste, a little second flavor. Okay, so as the elbows lift up and your hands are on your back, breathe into the space where your hands are. We'll root through feet. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Nice, go ahead, release your arms, take off that strap. Ooh. Got it. Turn the right toes out, left toes in. Inhale as we reach the arms wide. Then exhale, bend the knee. Good. Hand on the inner calf, inner ankle, or to a block. Reach the left arm up. Good. So again, same thing here. Try to lift up a little bit so you have some buoyancy and lightness through the torso. Let the legs do the work. And we'll turn the left palm, bend the elbow, bring the arm behind the back. And this might feel totally fine to you. This might be where you want to hang out as you press the back of that hand into the hip or the back. Or if you'd like to, reach underneath with the right arm and come into a bind. Okay. So once you have your bind, try to avoid slumping into it, right? No slumpasana, nice and lifted. And from there, feel the collarbones broaden. Maybe look down. Just to encourage a little more opening through the neck. One last breath. And exhale. Release the hands. If you have a block nearby, grab your block. Certainly don't have to either. With your hand on your block, lift that left leg up. Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so left hand can just pause on your hip for a moment. You could also reach it up, all fine. Then if you'd like to take this variation, bend the left knee. Reach back, find the ankle, and come to Chapasana. So there's no need to turn this into a massive back bend, right? You don't have to flay the heart open, send the knee back. No need. Steadiness, evenness of sensation through the body, evenness through breath. And then as you're ready, exhale as you release. Bend the knee. Good. Bring your block with you. Step all the way back. And come up. Good. All right, turn your feet. Left toes turn back. Right toes turn a little in. I'm just going to put that block over there. Then reach the arms out to the side. As you exhale, bend your left knee. And then left hand down to the ankle, down to that block if you want to. Or elbow to knee. Any of those variations are good. Right arm can reach up. You can feel this twist through the belly, right? It feels good to have a nice big open twist. And then turn the right palm, bend the elbow, bring the arm behind your back. Nice. This may be enough. This might feel the best on your shoulder. Then if you like, if you're practicing it, left arm underneath the leg, find the hand, find the wrist. Nice. And then try to reach the heart forward. Good, you guys look great. So nice. And you broaden through the collarbones and then turn your head down. So you can feel almost like those little, the twists we've been doing seated, same effect. Can you find steadiness and ease here, even in this very, very demanding pose? And then we'll release the arms. Good. Right hand to the right hip. And then really take as many steps or slide your foot in as you need. Walk your left hand forward. Ardha Chandrasana. And the right arm can lift up if you want. And as you feel ready to, bend your left knee if you'd like to try this variation. Reach for the ankle and send the knee back. So all of the work we've done grounding down through the feet and the legs, all the work creating balanced effort, noticing balanced effort and what that is for you. And now we can find a little more freedom, a little more expression. All right, gently release the leg, bend your knee, come all the way back up, fall out of it maybe. All right, and then step your feet together. Savastitihi. Okay, grab your blanket. So some of you may need this, others of you may not, but we're gonna have it just in case. Place your heels on the blanket. Okay. So big toes touch. Go ahead and bend your knees. Lower the hips, come into a nice low Utkatasana. Right? And then hands to your heart. Right elbow outside of the left knee. Okay? Left arm up. So working towards Pasasana pose, noose pose, the ultimate knot. And if you like, arm behind. If you like, this right arm comes underneath the leg, swings around. Maybe you can join. And now it's a crazy pose. And then gently release. Oh, letting go. Okay. Bending the knees, sitting the hips low, and hands to heart for this heels up version of Utkatasana. And elbow outside of the knee. Work your way down. Open the arms. And then right hand comes back. If you like, left arm can swing underneath or just stay on the ground. Right? Pasasana. Bring more breath into your belly. One more time. And then exhale. Release. Let yourself flush. Let yourself release. Maybe move that blanket out of the way. So blanket out to the side. Go ahead and step back in the downward facing dog. Okay. We'll bring the knees down. And then two options, either with elbows down on the mat, either with hands interlaced or with hands on the ground. Either version is great. Tuck the toes, reach the hips up and back. Make your way into a dolphin pose. Okay, so reaching the knuckles forward. We're trying to slide the hands forward. And again, with knees bent, can you melt the heart back? And let this be about the spine. But if you'd like to, you can lengthen your legs as well. If this is too much on the shoulders, I recommend just regular downward facing dog. Even child's pose for a moment. And we'll bring the knees down, settle the hips back. Release your arms by your sides for child's pose. And just letting the breath move. So reach the arms forward. Go ahead and grab that blanket. Lots of blanket use today. Okay, place it crosswise on your mat, and then I have the blanket sort of doubled again, so it's a burrito. And then come to lie down onto that blanket. Okay. All right. So the blanket crease is just above my hip points. Okay. We just want it capturing just the top edge of the hip points. Okay, and from here, we'll bend the knees. Reach back one hand at a time. Find Dhanurasana. Just a little bit more supported. Don't worry about how high you're going. Letting the blanket do the work of that belly lifting for you, right? Can you find a little more space? A little more length, a little more width. If you had to talk right now, could you? And then gently, gently release. Just forehead to the hands, legs relaxed. Making your way up, just to hands and knees. Slide that blanket off to the side and spin around onto your back. So with knees bent and feet on the ground, feet are about hip distance, maybe a touch wider. You slowly start to root down through the feet, lift the hips. Feel length and space in the back, so the tail is moving towards the knees, and the outer hips are wrapping around towards the front, right? That will be the same sort of feeling as that Ardha Chandrasana Chapasana, where the inner thigh is reaching down. Let's try to release the shoulders, let the neck get longer. Just here in a bridge pose. If you'd like to, you could hold the sides of your mat. If you'd like to, you can also bring your elbows underneath into that sort of bound variation of a bridge. And just drawing the breath outward, downward, upward. And then releasing whatever you have your hands on, slowly coming all the way down. And just pausing here in neutral, let the knees drop together. You might place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Arms by your sides again. Okay. And just moving up through round number 2, lifting the hips, tail lengthening towards the knees in the direction of the knees. Right, shoulder blades wrapping into the back, so it's really the tops of the shoulders that are on the ground. And then any version of bridge that you like, or if you're somebody who likes Urdhva Dhanurasana, bend your elbows. Bring your palms to the ground, fingertips pointed either towards the hips or a little bit outward. And then root down through the hands, lengthen the arms, or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Okay, upward facing bow. So from here, can you use the power, the strength of the legs to root through the feet, send the heart forward a little bit more without jamming the back. And then as you're ready, gently, gently, elbows bend, lower all the way down. Arms by your sides, knees together, pausing in neutral, maybe hand on belly and heart. Let's reach our arms out to the side. So let your knees fall to the left, maybe even pressing into the feet, and that little arch to the back, and then coming all the way back, sending the knees to the right, arching into the back, and coming all the way back. Just moving side to side. Okay. And after your last one, gently come all the way back to center. Roll to one side. Use your hand, help yourself to come up. Okay. So I have the strap handy. And grab 2 blankets, if you have 2 blankets available. Okay. And just blankets both in their square. You could certainly do this at a wall if you'd like to do this at a wall instead. If you prefer an alternative, I would recommend scooting up to a wall. So scooting up to a wall and just lengthening legs against the wall. Okay, this is such a restorative, wonderful position. You could also place a blanket under your hips in that position. Okay. Otherwise, we've got our strap. So we'll place the strap around one bicep, okay? Let it lead off to the side. And certainly you don't need the strap. Having the blankets is really nice. It helps make more room for the neck so there's not compression on the lowest cervical vertebra. But, you know, everybody has their own way of doing it. Okay, so the arms by your sides, go ahead and bring your knees in. This is the way that I find most useful on the blankets. And then we'll take the legs up and over. Bring the shoulders in. Go ahead and grab that strap. Okay, so the strap is around the upper arms and then hands to the back. So we've been here before, right? This might feel good just as is. Otherwise, sometimes I really like to just bend both knees, lengthen the tail towards the ceiling, and then start to lengthen the legs. Okay. So Salamba Sarvangasana, supported shoulder stand. Like I said, if there's any reason that this isn't something that you want to do, if it's something that just doesn't feel comfortable or evokes a lot of fear in you, there are so many alternatives. Legs up the wall, another wide-legged forward fold. Okay. Send the thighs back, send the heels back. You should be able to speak. There shouldn't be any compression, right, on the back of the neck. Play with a little twist here. Resist the urge to look at the screen, but you can start to rotate your hips one direction and the other. You might even just close your eyes. This is such a wonderful pose for stimulating the thyroid and the thymus glands. And stay just for about 30 seconds longer, whichever version you're choosing to do. And we bend the knees. That just lightens the load on the back. Curl knees towards the chest. And maybe feet behind. Just as you slip off that strap. And slowly, slowly, slowly come all the way onto your back. Okay. So this blankets might be under you. You might scoot down a little bit if this is bothersome for your neck, which would be totally reasonable. Otherwise, just the lightest little lifted heart. A really nice way to open up the throat area that was just compressed. What do you notice after a big pose like that? And the communication of the body moving through the nadis, the pathways, the channels, the fascia. And slowly bringing feet to the floor, rolling to one side, using your hands to help you come up to sit. So just go ahead and sit on the edge of those folded blankets. A couple of poses just to counter our work. So we'll bring the right shin forward and bring the left leg back so that right foot is touching the top of the left thigh. So this is Baddha Konasana, just nice big open twist. So bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand to the back of the blankets, lift tall. And then exhale, let yourself twist. And then pause. So again, we'll come into a deeper twist. You don't need to push. When you find your twist, when you can bring a little space into the breath, and allow the head to move forward again, looking forward. Where can I let go? What can I release? Where can I relax? What's the quality of the breath? And we'll exhale and come all the way out of that. So nice. And then just staying on the same side, okay? So we will go to the other side before now. So take that left leg, cross it under as though you were going to do Gomukhasana. Right leg crosses on top. You could certainly also have the bottom leg straight. And then again with the coat hanger, left elbow in front of the right knee, right fingertips behind, lift tall. And then if you have a little more space, that right arm moves inside. And then if you'd like to, you can slide your hand in between your legs. Reach back and find that right hand. Right. Just for a bound version of this pose. And then once you find it, go ahead and turn your head. Nothing magical happens when you bind, when you can stick a handstand, anything like that, right? There's no better quality. So allow yourself to be where you are today. Give yourself what you need today. And then as you're ready, gently unwind. Releasing. And then switching legs. Okay, so taking that right leg back, almost into Virasana. Left foot touching the right thigh. And then right hand to the left knee, left hand behind, lift tall. And as you exhale, go ahead and twist. Sometimes it feels really good to let this top hip move with you. Worth trying out, worth practicing if you're tempted to do that. And then once you're in your twist, again, really mellow, really gentle, turn the head. This alchemical process of fire and water in the belly and in the solar plexus, transforming into clarity in the heart. And gently releasing. Okay, staying on the same side. So again, just take that left leg, tuck it in a little more. Bring your right leg on top. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. So right leg underneath, left leg on top. Okay, and then coat hanger with the right arm. Left hand behind, sit up tall. And if you have a little more room, then that arm comes inside. And if you'd like to experiment with a bind, then work that arm in between the leg. Reach back with the left hand. Find your fingers, find your hand, find your wrist. And then head turns. Yes, can you lift a little through the heart? Shoulder blades still working on the back, neck releasing. And exhaling as you unwind. And blankets off to the side, onto your back. So once on your back, and reach your legs up towards the ceiling. Cross your right shin on the left, and then just reach up for either your hands or your ankles or your feet with your hands. It's very simple. A little Supta Sukhasana. Just breathing into the back. And reach the legs up and just change left shin, crossing the right. Hands on the ankles, and gently lowering. As you're ready, unwind your legs. And bring feet to the floor with the knees bent. Hold on to opposite elbows. And then we'll just take the arms across the body. So just like an old-fashioned typewriter. or corn on the cob. If you prefer more of an old-timey metaphor, then great. If you prefer more of a food-based one, it's just moving across the body. And breathing in as the elbows reach the apex of movement to one side. So once you're ready, then we'll release the arms, lengthen the legs. You might consider a blanket on top of your legs or under the legs. You might consider just cloaking yourself in a blanket. And then allowing yourself to rest, relax. Feeling the body drop into Shavasana. So nice. And letting the eyes close if that's comfortable and you'd like to. Feeling the weight of the body drop. Feeling the bones drop. And letting all effort release. And gently noticing the body again. Noticing the sense of permeability between your body and the air, the objects around you. And as you begin to deepen your breath, feel the interconnectedness. Your breath is a part of the web of the whole world breathing. Your heartbeat a part of the symphony of the rhythm. And as you're ready, gently transition to one side. And then use your hands and arms to come all the way up to seated. And once there, we'll join palms to heart center. Bow our chins. And seal our time together in this retreat. May we move forward with grace and compassion and ease, no matter what comes our way, no matter what we encounter. And may we know that this heart is made to love. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for your effort. And thank you for being willing to let go. Namaste, everybody.